Joining me now, Gary Cohn, Chief Economic Advisor to President Trump. Gary, good evening. Good to have you back. Obviously, a big day for the tax bill that you have worked very hard on. But first, I do want to ask you about this story that is very much in the news that we led tonight, and that is the question of Roy Moore. Does the White House believe that Roy Moore should continue to run for that seat in Alabama?
Look, Martha, thank you for having me. I really enjoy the opportunity to be here with you this evening. Look, we haven't seen all the facts yet, and the White House is waiting to get all the facts before we make a decision on this.
I mean, Luther Strange was President Trump's candidate. Is there any potential that he may call for the voters in Alabama to write him in and to go back to what he pushed for initially?
Like I said, we're waiting to see the facts, and I'm sure once we see all the facts, the president will have an opinion on this situation.
All right. So we'll get more on that as it comes out, as you say. In terms of what happened on the Hill today, obviously the market backed off a bit because the market has had a huge run, largely on the notion that corporations are going to get a nice big tax cut to 20%. How do you feel about the fact that they may now not get it for another year?
I'm not sure that's why the market's been running. Look, the market goes up and down. As you just pointed out, we had less than 0.5% pullback in the stock market today. I think the market's been going up because American businesses have been doing better and better as the economy continues to grow. Our tax plan is aimed to make sure that the economy does continue to grow and we help American businesses compete in a very competitive global environment. Our plan is really aimed to make sure that we lower the business tax rates and our U.S. businesses can compete in a very competitive environment. So we are very excited about what happened today. As you mentioned, we did get the House plan out of the Ways and Means Committee, and the Senate did introduce a plan today, which will go into committee next week.
What do you think are the biggest bones of contention? What are you most concerned about in the differences in these two bills, Gary?
Look, I'm not concerned about any of the differences. We are going through regular order, a normal process, going through committees in both the House and the Senate, and this is exactly what we told people was going to happen. We're on the schedule that we said we would be on. Before we leave for Thanksgiving next weekend, we hope, and we're pretty optimistic, that the House will have voted their bill out and the Senate will be through their committee process. A lot of people doubted that we could be at that place by Thanksgiving.
You know, the president said that he said, you're going to the Senate Democrats, he said, you know what, you're going to like the Senate bill better than what they did over there in the House, which couldn't help but remind me of the moment during the Obamacare battle where he said to the senators, you know, the House version is mean, but we're going to do something better in the Senate. That doesn't go over very well with the colleagues over on the House side.
I think the president and we in the White House like both versions. We're very pleased with both versions. We're allowing them to go through the normal process.
But why is he saying that they're going to like the Senate version better? That the Senate Democrats will like the Senate version better?
I think the president likes both versions because look what they do. They really attack both of his goals. The president set out two primary objectives. Number one, a middle-income tax cut, and number two, lowering the corporate tax rate to make our businesses in America more competitive so we can deliver real wage growth to hardworking Americans. Both plans do that, so the president is very supportive of both of these plans.
So Jeff Flake's saying that he's not so sure about this deal in the Senate. He doesn't like it a lot. There's likely to be more dissent from Senate Republicans as well. Does the president feel like he can't catch a break from his own party in the Senate?
As I said, the president's very optimistic about this tax bill. It does everything he set out to do, everything he told the voters he was going to do with tax reform. Both of these bills
I get it. So
do.
he's happy with what it looks like. But so he thinks it can pass. And is he going to need Senate Democrats to pass it? Does he believe he needs Senate Democrats to pass it?
We would love to have Senate Democrats. We've been spending a lot of time with Democrats. I think you know that Mark Short and myself, we met with a group of 12 Democrats that Senator Manchin put together earlier this week. We had a very positive meeting with them. We've agreed to meet with them more.
How many of them do you think you can get on board with this Senate bill?
Look, we've heard from many of the Democrats that there's a possibility that we could get 70 or 80 votes on this. You know, when we're continuing to meet with the Democrats, and we're happy to meet with them.
All right. Good progress as you see it. Gary Cohn, thank you very much for coming back on the story. Good to see you tonight.